What's going on?
Nothing. Were you just chilling?
No. I turned on my Skype on my computer.
Oh,
I was like, I'll just turn the volume up loud so when I hear you call, I could come sit down and talk.
gotcha. Oh, for some reason I was just staring at Skype, and it didn't even occur to me to look through my contacts because I was
Oh,
just
you're
like,
my only friend on Skype.
and
I'm
it's
not
gonna
kidding.
stay that way. No, I'm just kidding.
You're literally my only contact on Skype. I use it once a year when I talk to you.
And honestly, I'm super flattered, but also, um, I feel like I'm not worthy of that.
No. I mean, I think for the most part, if I have to use Skype for something, it'll just be like a temporary thing and then the contact doesn't save, but maybe because we
Right.
talked a couple times through here it's saved. I don't know. It's bizarre.
Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always hosted by me, yours truly, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to not only episode 386, but also the official start of Casting for Two, year 7. 7 years of doing the podcast, making friends, and having awesome chats with people. I'd like to thank everybody who has been around since episode 1 or just jumped on whenever they jumped on. I really appreciate it. I guess also past listeners too. Super appreciate all the past listeners. But with the new year begins a new song. And this one I had a lot of trouble with because I had a bunch of songs that I wanted. I tested them out, and even though there's some of the songs that I really like, I couldn't get this one out of my head. This one is The Rapture, House of Jealous Lovers, and I just love the beat to it. It's harkened back to, I guess, year 2 of the podcast, maybe 2 or 3, when I did, a little bit of a harder song, and I miss those days, and that's what I wanted, so there you go. But I should chat about my guest today. Kicking off a year's tradition, Caitlin Carver is on the podcast, episode, or her 5th appearance, I should say. She's part of that SNL 5 Timers Club, except it's a CFT club. And I honestly was so looking forward to chatting with Caitlin. She's one of my favorite people around, and just a lovely chat with her. But I'm done talking. We needed to get in this episode, all right? So everybody sit back, relax, and Caitlin, take it away. I was talking to somebody about this earlier, with everything that's going on in the world. Even like when Corona first hit, I think it's so funny that, we've had Skype for years, and Skype is commonly used in everything, as far as like wording, just like Google. Oh, let's Google that or something like that. And then out of nowhere, Zoom just took off, and it's just like, hey, do you want to Skype tonight? Yeah, let me get on to Zoom. Yeah, I'll be on Zoom.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's just,
it's South how people say, I want a Coke. What kind of Coke? Oh, a Dr. Pepper.
yes. Oh, well, I think that's a Southern thing.
Yeah, no, it's very much in
Okay.
the South where I grew up in.
Well, I was the same way. So
Yeah. But yeah, no, I always wondered why Zoom just took off because can't you do multiple people on FaceTime? I don't know about Skype. I'm sure they have that feature, but
Skype you can. FaceTime, I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think it's one-on-one.
oh.
I think so. Don't quote me. I'm not a FaceTime user, so yeah. I'm the worst person.
Yeah, that is interesting now. I have been using a lot of Zoom, that's for sure.
Because, when I use Zoom for work stuff. So whenever there was a conference call we needed to use, we would, they would send out a Zoom link and you joined whatever, blah, blah. That's why when it was like Zoom is taking off, I was like, when has Zoom ever been hip? I just know it for this like company meetings and stuff like that. So I have no idea why it became hip. And
See, I thought it came out like right before the pandemic happened, so I thought it was just like the new thing. I didn't realize it had been around for so long.
I want to say I've been, quote unquote, using it for 10 years, maybe a little less,
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, no, I just Zoom to me is for work, and I'm like, I don't want to go on Zoom. It's lame.
Yeah. You associate with work.
Exactly. So that's why it's so weird. And again, the times that we're living in, I've gotten bored on like a Friday night and just like, what's going on in Zoom? And people are having like raves in Zoom, and I'm just like, hell yeah, yes, let's do this.
Yeah, I've had a few Zoom happy hours. The thing that I like a lot about Zoom during this time is like for workout stuff. I need to be surrounded by people when I work out. I think that maybe I just like the attention of thinking that people are watching me because then I work harder.
Okay.
So I was trying to do like the at-home videos. The place that I work out at was doing like they would post like YouTube workouts and stuff, but then I just find myself wanting to sit on the couch and not do it. But as soon as I found out that people were teaching classes on Zoom and that they could see me, then I started working out and actually trying.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it for that.
Is there ever that one person, and I don't want you to call anybody out, it's not like we know anybody in that class, but still, is there ever one person in the group that's just like chilling on the couch or just kind of just watching like a weirdo? What?
Not that I've seen.
Okay. I just think that'd be the weirdest thing. Everybody's working out and you just have one guy who's just like, meh.
Oh, actually, oh my gosh. My friend and I took a Zoom class and we both turned off our the video part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were essentially taking the class, but we were texting and we were both drinking a beer while we were taking this workout class. I mean, it was a ballet class, but we turned off our screens and we're just like laughing because we were taking a class while drinking a beer. And it was really funny.
There we go. That's been, I don't want to say the best part, but the fact that, I've played Animal Crossing during a meeting. I'm like, I don't care.
I was playing it before you called me. I'm obsessed. No, there's this ship that's on my island, and I think it's the guy who sells art. But
correct.
I haven't encountered this guy yet.
He's wandering around your island. So once you find him, talk to him, and then he'll invite you to the ship.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I couldn't go on without someone's permission. I was like, well, that's rude.
Right. Well, it's also kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Stranger Jane. No. How long have you been playing Animal Crossing?
We got the Nintendo so my boyfriend got it probably a month and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, we do not need a Switch. Like, this is so stupid. He's like, you're going to love Animal Crossing. I'm like, no, I'm not. It sounds retarded.
No.
And now, it's all I do.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to it. So we have this thing where he really likes the whole making money thing on Animal Crossing. So he'll do all the fishing and collecting the fossils and fruit and everything. And then I decorate the whole island. So he's bringing home the money so I can fix everything.
Well, let me know if you need anything. I started playing the very beginning, and
I bet your island is insane.
It's not, because I'm a basic bitch.
Okay. See, I have roads everywhere, and I made all these waterfalls and have flowers in everyone's yard. It's so fun.
I do my version of cleaning up, but yeah, I'll see these videos of just people with these grand islands, and I'm just like, that looks cool, but I personally have no desire to make it like that. You know,
Yeah.
mine functions well. You know, I made a pizza place. That's cool, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, maybe once we're off this Skype, maybe you can email me your friend ID number and then
Yeah.
I can come visit your island or you can come to mine or something.
Yeah. I'd love to, but I've racked up. I think I'm over 200 hours now.
Wow. I'd love
Um,
to know how much I've played because I play for at least 4 hours a day.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's become part of a routine where I wake up. Me physically, I wake up in the morning.
Check prices.
I check the turn up price. Now I did turn up. I've done that 3 times, and the
Yeah.
first 2 times were horrible, and I was just so distraught, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And then the last time was perfect, done. Okay, I'm retiring from the turn up game, and I have retired from it. So
Yeah. I'm trying it again. Last week I bought them and I'm not sure if I don't know if I waited too long to sell them, but they rotted
yes,
and there's ants all over them.
yeah.
And so I didn't get any money for them.
So yeah, turnips last from. Oh, this is great. I was worried we weren't going to talk about anything, but now talk about Animal Crossing.
I could talk about this all day.
So turnips last from that Sunday you buy them till Saturday night.
Okay.
So yeah, if you don't sell them,
Yeah. Man, yeah, I honestly didn't think I was gonna like it because I'm not a big video game person. I'd rather like read a book or paint or do something, but now I'm just like addicted to it.
well, I mean because I got Animal Crossing for my nephew and stuff like that, and he's a smart kid. You know, I know people say that about, their relatives, but he really is, because I gave him the game and he's like, look what I did. And he's drawing pixel art in the game because that's what you can do, and making your own clothing and stuff like that. And I'm just staring at him like, you did all this by yourself? Like, I haven't even done that. But so I think it attracts the game itself. It appeals to a lot of people, and somebody, who's like you, a creative person, he's like, you can do anything that you want in there to a certain extent, of course. But yeah, it has something for everyone.
Yeah, tell me if you have this. I don't know if it's a problem, but I consider it a problem. Every time I'm outside, I will see like a butterfly or some kind of bug, and I'm like, where's my net? Like, become a part of my real life where I think about it so often, and now I'm redoing my whole house. I've been gardening so much, and all I want are like more flowers outside, and I'm like, this all is because of Animal Crossing.
I mean, I don't see too many butterflies outside, unfortunately, because they'd probably catch fire and burn up. But I like rearranging stuff. It's nice to maximize the space for sure on what you're given. And I do think about that. The whole planting flowers. I got. It's funny because I purchased a plant recently, because I wanted a puppy, but I can't have a puppy, so I got a plant. That was the next logical step. So I'm trying to see if I can keep the plant alive, and so far it's going.
An indoor plant?
It is, yeah. It's
Okay.
it's an what's the term for it? An air plant.
Oh, those are
Yeah.
easy to keep alive. Don't you just have to mist it like once a week, or is it?
You can mist it, or you water it once a week for 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Wait, I must be thinking of something different.
I mean, you can mist it.
Fire air? Is that what you mean by air plant?
Oh, well, it doesn't need soil, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's what I was thinking. Oh, no wonder my air plant died.
Did you put it in soil?
No, I was misting it like every
Oh.
day.
I mean, yeah, so again, I went on YouTube and just searched it. You can mist it, but, she recommended, dunking it in a a bowl of water for 25 minutes and then you're done.
Actually, looking at my air plant right now, it's a very, very small one. Like it's tiny. And it actually looks like it's doing pretty good. So maybe I revived it somehow. But that's
There you
good.
go.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and so and so it's chilling right next to me, and it's growing. It doesn't look dead, so that's
Good. Yeah, I have about like 14 indoor plants, and I just started growing my garden a couple weeks ago with like herbs and different things that who knows if they'll actually grow and be edible. But I'm trying.
Where did this green thumb come from? Is it something that you wanted, or you just boredom?
I think probably boredom. It doesn't really run in my family. I don't think my mom can really keep a plant alive. But yeah, I don't know. I just was thinking like how nice would it be to not have to go to the store just to like get lettuce or spinach or basil, just different types of herbs and plants and vegetables and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I buy those so often at the store and then they go bad. So I'm like, why would I not just grow it and it stays alive and I can just go pick it off as I need it? But I did buy my garden bed last year and I just planted stuff in it this year. So I think it's probably boredom that has set in. But now I'm kind of addicted to it. I wake up in the morning, I make my coffee, and I go outside and just like give it a little extra water because I have like a water drainage system on it. But I don't think that's giving it enough water for the seeds to really like sprout. So I go and water it in the morning, and then I look at all the little tiny sprouts that have come up, and I just stare at it, and then I go back inside.
I mean, that must what time of day? Like, is it like 7 a.m.?
Yeah, it's like 7. I wake up around 7.
See, that's the best because it's nice and cool.
Yeah.
And you got your coffee to keep you. Yeah, no, I that's a great time.
Do you sleep in late?
No. Well, yeah, no, I wouldn't say I do. I wake up around like 7:50, 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Still.
Yeah, no, I don't think for a guy who goes to sleep around 3 a.m., I don't think that's...
Oh, gosh. Okay, maybe you should sleep later then. It's like 5 hours.
I know. The problem is that but before the pandemic happened, my niece and nephew would come to the house and take them to school, and like they were my morning routine. So now that doesn't happen, I would find myself still waking up early. But then all my friends were like, hey, we're hanging out tonight or playing games, whatever. And I would be like, go on without me. I got the kids. Now that I don't have the kids, okay, yeah, I'll stay up till 2, 3 a.m. And then I'll just wake up at 8.
Yeah. Have you been seeing people throughout all of this?
No.
Haven't?
No, so in Texas, they I don't know where the opening is at. As far I know that it was 50, like places can be open 50%. I think now it's 75% to capacity.
Okay.
But of course, there's like 500 new cases that have popped up in my city alone. And it's just so weird seeing people just walk around without masks.
Ooh, yeah. I think they're required out here. But I actually live a little bit outside of LA now, like 20 minutes, but I'm technically in a different county. So masks are actually not required here in this county, but I haven't seen really anyone without one. Maybe one person at the grocery store won't have it on, and I still just like am kind of shocked to see people not wearing it. But
right.
Yeah. I mean, same with California. I think I was reading, I think it was like 22 states, the cases have gone up since they started lifting the stay-at-home orders. And yeah, it's just a little bit scary because like as soon as they were starting to open things back up, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I can see my friends now, which I've really only seen probably 2 or 3 friends.
Yeah.
And then my boyfriend's family. But now I'm like nervous to keep seeing people. I'm like, should I still stay at home? I don't, because I mean, realistically, like I think I have a great immune system. I think I could fight it off. It's just a matter of like spreading it to other people, like going to a
Right.
grocery store and that kind of thing where, there might be older people or people with weak immune systems that might be picking up something after I do. So it's all just very weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's pretty nerve-wracking thinking about the cases going up and things are starting to open up. Because now there are some restaurants here open. I think they opened gyms on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if they continue that or if they kind of like slow things back down because of more cases happening. I don't know. Weird times.
And it's just, I think I've said it, but it's just so, I'm already a homebody, so I don't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that, this whole lockdown's been fine. But it's just so concerning to see people not wearing masks. And it's like, what did we just go through these past couple of months, And you're just out here wandering around, getting all next to me. And it's like 6 feet away. Get back, get away from me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people are just so over it that they're not, being considerate of others who maybe have a weak immune system, or, just in general, just being considerate of other people. But I'm the same way. I mean, I'm definitely a homebody, and it feels weird to say that this has actually been nice to just be at home and to like do things that I haven't had the time to do because I do realize that there's a lot of bad going on in the world, and unfortunately, like a lot of people are sick. So I do recognize that, but I am definitely the same way where I love to be at home. So.
There you go. Just get your cheese plate and your coffee, right?
I have them both. Pretty much every day. I'm a little concerned.
Nah, you're doing your workout classes with your beers. You're fine.
Yeah, with my beers. I don't think I've done a workout class in like 2 weeks now. I down behind it. And places started opening back up, so now there's like fewer people doing the online classes, and now I'm like, wait, but my gym's not open yet, so can somebody do something?
Let's say, your gym does open up. Do you work out with a mask, or is that like...
Well, I go to like a workout class, a place that I don't, you've probably heard of it. It's called Orange Theory. They sent out an email with the requirements that they were going to have for that studio, and I want to say that you're required to wear the mask all the way until you step into the room onto the first machine that you use.
Okay.
And what it is like 12 treadmills and then 12 rowers. And so the class can hold 24 people.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're going to do like every other machine.
Okay.
So there will only be a maximum of 12 people in each class. But I think what it is you wear the mask into the studio and then you can take it off. I'm not sure that I could personally do any kind of cardio with the mask on because even this morning I had to go to Lowe's and I was wearing my mask and I felt like I was suffocating for a second.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I could do it, but if they ask me to put it on, then I absolutely will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to hope I don't have to wear it, but if I am asked to, then I will gladly put it on.
There we go. It's, I mean, and you said it. I'm pretty invincible. So I know if I get the sickness, I will easily defeat it because I'm just that guy. But I am worried about, I see my parents, I see my niece and nephew, and I was like, I don't want to get any of them sick if I. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm worried about being in a store and how I'll react to somebody coughing. Like sneezing is whatever. Everyone sneezes. But like, I don't know how I'm going to be like, ugh, or, how I'm going to react to that. And I know that's really dramatic, but it's just one of those things where I was thinking about that. Like, what if somebody's coughing next to me? Normally I'd be like, whatever. But now what do I do?
Have you been going to stores at all or anywhere? Are you getting things delivered?
Well, mainly like for groceries, it's been, like, what's that? Like a curbside pickup,
Yep.
and then delivered. Yeah. Contactless stuff. So yeah, not too much interact. The only interaction, I do is like if I need a snack attack, I'll go to like the local drugstore and, I'll just talk to people there, but I'm wearing a mask, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember like the first time I went to the store after.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and I just remember thinking the whole time, like every little thing, I'm like just so paranoid about everything. And there was a moment where my boyfriend he either had to cough or sneeze, and I was like, you better not do it. Do not do it. You go outside.
you you go outside, you drive home, you go to the backyard, you find a
Yeah.
spot in the corner.
I was like, I do not want people looking at me because if someone coughed in here, I would stare at them, not in a bad way, but it's just like that's the first thing on your mind when you're around
Right.
other people. Like, I hope no one here is sick.
Yeah, and there was one time when we went grocery shopping, and I remember almost like crying because everything was gone, and everything was just ramshacked, and stuff was like it's empty shelves, and that's
Yeah.
when it hit me like, oh crap, this is real. And I was just like, I need a, as it is, grocery shopping gives me a panic attack. But when I saw that, it really hit, and I was like, I need to get out of the store. I'm not doing well right now.
Yeah, when this first started, I remember like hearing something. I think it was a Thursday night. It was like 8 p.m. and I remember hearing something and just being like, I think this might get pretty bad.
Hmm.
And so I ended up driving to the store that night and just getting things that I could like any kind of meat that I could freeze. I didn't hoard anything at all, but I did get enough for like 2 weeks just
Yeah.
in case. And then the next morning they announced it, and that's when all of the grocery stores went crazy, and there was lines wrapped around the corner, and all the toilet paper and meat and chicken and all of that was gone. And I was like, thank goodness I went to the store last night, but I just knew I had such a feeling.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
But
man,
luckily, I mean, things are kind of going back to normal now, it seems.
a little bit. Yeah, I like hope. I just keep watching the news, and I just they keep saying that there's going to be a second wave, and I do feel that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just, ugh.
Yeah, it's all really scary and weird.
Yeah.
But I'm just I don't know. I feel like if there is a second wave, hopefully people, because it really like made me mad how people were hoarding like the toilet paper and the eggs and the bread
Yeah.
and the chicken, because there's a lot of people out there who need that stuff and survive off of that kind of stuff. And somebody's going to the every grocery store in my town and buying all of it. Like it just drove me nuts. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping if there is, which I'm hoping there's not a second wave, but if there does happen to be one, that maybe people will react a little bit different. And hopefully people just wear their mask and clean their hands. And I don't know. I never thought I'd experience anything like this, that's for sure.
Right. And and I remember they were talking about but what was the thing before? I forgot what it was called. Swine flu, where it was.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember when that was I don't remember it being bad, but apparently it was. But not this bad, of course. But yeah, it's just yeah, it's great. Yeah, I like this is 2020. What's going on here?
I know. What a year.
What a year. Yeah, it's been crazy. But
Mhm.
have you noticed though that obviously you've been planning, but have you noticed a spike in your creativity?
It goes in waves, definitely. I feel like I've been more creative with things other than acting, which has been really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'll have like other weeks or months where all I want to do is just, some of my friends and I have been like FaceTiming and reading through plays and writing and just different things to keep our creative minds active. But
Mhm.
I've been doing like a lot of painting and interior design stuff. Like I've redone, oh God, this is embarrassing. I've redone a bathroom, a bedroom, the dining room, and then we just got like the middle of our house painted. So we have like really tall ceilings where the stairs are.
Uh-huh.
We just got all of that painted. So it's just kind of like I'm in like reconstruction mode, but I really love interior design. So
Yeah.
I've been able, because I feel like before, all of my time was spent, if not working, preparing for an audition or, just something involving my career as an actor, which is amazing, but I didn't really have the time to just sit here and like do other hobbies of mine, which are planting and I do like acrylic painting and interior design stuff. So it's definitely gone in waves of like whatever I wake up wanting to do that morning, I get to do and I just do.
Hmm.
But pretty much everything I do in my life, I kind of feel like revolves around being creative in some kind of way. Um, so I definitely have been, but there have been days where I just want to sit and like read and do nothing. And I got a blow up pool in my backyard. So some days I'll just sit in my pool and just stare at the sky. This is what I'm doing today.
There we go.
Um, but yeah, I'd say it goes in waves for sure. I definitely am at a point where I really do miss acting and working. But I understand that we need to take the time and make sure sets are safe before we go back to them and
Right.
that kind of thing. So yeah. What about you?
Honestly, not. I've noticed a real downtick for me personally. As it is, motivation has always been my biggest problem. Especially if it's something new, I'll be like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. But when this happened, and then the protests have happened,
Hmm.
like I went through this thing of like, why am I doing this? There's something happening in the world, and I released 2 episodes of just me voicing my frustrations with everything, and it was therapeutic, and I wasn't, it wasn't anything bad, or it was just like, why are we here? The loss of human, and I'm gonna get serious for a little bit, but I'll get out of it. Don't worry.
Oh,
Um,
no.
the thing that's been driving me crazy is the loss of human life, and
Mm.
um, how how it's been taken by the people who are running things. It's like, oh, we lost, 200,000. Well, at least it wasn't 300, right? And it's just so aggravating to me that is where we are.
Yeah.
And it's and that's been really bumming me out. And then I think about my niece and nephew, like, what kind of world are they going to live in? And
I think
so,
that a lot too, but I also kind of feel like, I mean, especially during this time, because I like you said, I mean, certainly the past week and a half, it hasn't really felt right to do anything other than, use my voice to amplify Black voices or just use my voice to speak out with how I feel about everything going on in the world.
right,
And um, yeah, I just feel like our country is pretty corrupt. But then like going to these protests and certainly like seeing people around my age and how they feel about it and them using their voices to lift up Black people. And I feel like generations below us are going to learn from us.
right,
And maybe that's just me being extremely hopeful, but I see so many people my age just trying to make this country better. And I'm hoping that like our kids and our grandkids can learn from us. Because I do think the older generation, they still kind of live in the past, at least the older people that I've spoken to about all of this, they definitely still have mindsets that are, that they don't know how to gain new knowledge and change their opinion about something. They
right.
just refuse to change their opinions about anything. And I think for younger people in our country, we're very open to listening and, knowledging ourselves on different situations. So I'm very, because I've been talking to my stepsister a lot about this because she has a 1-year-old kid and she's pregnant again, and she's like so nervous about raising him in our country. And I just feel so hopeful about what our country could be if we can just keep protesting and keep like pushing for them, like public, I mean, like people to just make changes.
Right, right.
I don't know. I get so heated talking about this, but
No, and that, I mean, that's one of the things that I, love seeing is that, when you see the protesters and them marching, you see it like a good variety of people, not just blacks, whites, and like everyone is marching together.
yeah,
And, and I look at my niece and nephew, and to them, gay isn't weird. It's not, it's like, yeah, that's Johnny. He has 2 dads.
yeah,
It's nothing to them. It's just, yeah, that's who he is. That's his parents. And, I just like, I just think that's so, I think that's beautiful, but then I get so emotional when I see, like an older interracial couple or a gay couple. Like, think about all the things that they had to go through and still are going through just to be together. Like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, I remember I was at work and I was gonna cry, and my coworker's just like, what's your problem? I was like, look how old they are. Think about all the things they had to go through. And he's like, I never thought of it that way. I was like, well, because you're dumb. Get away from me.
Oh,
Well, well, yeah, he's dumb. But it's fine. But yeah, hope it's coming. It's just not. It's gonna take a while, and hopefully,
it's going to take a while, and it's certainly not going to be easy. But I think if we keep talking about it and keep pushing and doing our research and learning things and signing petitions and just really pushing for change, then eventually people are going to have to listen, because hopefully the whole country just starts. I mean, I know there's some ugly people out there in the world who used to change their opinions about things, but I think like the more we can talk about it, the better, because you never know who might be listening to you and following you and inspired by what you have to say.
Right. And yeah, and we're at a point where we have to speak up. I think what started everything was the Me Too movement. And, if you're not comfortable with something, you speak up. There's no more, I mean, it shouldn't be any more of this keeping it inside or, just powering through it. No, if you're uncomfortable or if you don't like the way something is being done, you speak up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, some of us are all adults. The other ones are kids. So, it's like,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah, there's, do feel like it's going to take some time, but we are seeing like little changes by little changes. And honestly, that's a move in the right direction. So that's, we can just keep fighting and hopefully keep seeing changes in the world.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So back to Animal Crossing. No, and it's, and like I said, that's the biggest, that's really been, putting a damper on my creativity.
And that is so fair. I mean, I think even going back to mid-March until now, like even the pandemic happening, I think it's totally fair that people are losing their jobs. There's a lot going on in the world that certainly I completely understand when people don't feel creative. I was like reading this thing when the pandemic first started happening, and people were like, I'm going to learn a new language and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And it's like, there's some people who see those posts and think like terrible of themselves for not doing the same thing or not doing something or learning something, and I just feel like it's okay to just have this moment where you take a break and just it's literally a pandemic.
Right.
We've never experienced, well, I mean, I don't know if the swine flu was, I feel terrible not knowing that, but we've never experienced anything to this level before.
Right.
And it's okay to not be creative and just feel like you want to just sit and do nothing and watch TV and play Animal Crossing. It's completely valid. And then obviously the whole Black Lives Matter movement on top of it, like there's just so much going on in the world that it really is challenging to be creative on top of all of that. So I completely get it.
Yeah, and I tried to sign up for graphic design classes because I've been using Photoshop for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I said, you know what, I'm going to get out of this funk. I'm going to learn, really the only reason why I wanted to take it was just to learn Photoshop better. If there's something I can do, instead of taking 3 steps to do it, maybe 2 steps, I'm like, all right, cool. That'd be handy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I impulse signed up for a class that I saw on Instagram because they targeted me because their ad marketing is that good. And I started doing research, and I saw that they would just charge this guy randomly, and I was just, oh, that's weird. And then I saw that for every class I wanted to take, were going to charge me like $40, and this was for the materials, and this was twice in a week, and I was just like, honestly, not really. I'm okay. So, and that was, and I had to jump through hoops to get out of that, but it's okay now.
Yeah, it's okay to just take the time and chill out.
Just chill, yeah, chill. But honestly, like the whole July thing, I was looking forward to it because July is usually the special month. And then, that's why I was like, you know what? I need to get out of this funk. I know who to call. I'm her only contact. How many what?
How many years has this been since we've talked every year?
So every year it's been 4.
Okay.
Counting this one, it's 4.
Okay.
But
I was 5 for some reason, but
yeah, there you are. This is my 5th time chatting with you.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yes, so you are now, once this comes out, but you are now officially tied with my buddy as far as people who have been on the show.
Wow.
The most times, yeah.
I'm tied with a friend of yours. That feels very special.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't believe it works out that we do it every year.
Yeah, and honestly, whenever I email you, it's that guilt. I feel like I don't. She shouldn't have to do this.
You email me every year.
But yeah, no, I just think it's so funny, and I don't know. I think I don't know. I just enjoy chatting with you, and I keep up with things that you do, during the year. So I'm just I'm always excited
to this year so far.
Yeah,
not a lot to update you on, but
have you? I mean, I know you said you were doing stuff for yourself, but I've noticed some of my friends are doing like taped auditions.
Yeah, I did 2 right when I think 2, maybe 3, right when we went into quarantine. I think people were like still pretty hopeful that this wouldn't last very long.
Mm-hmm.
And since then I haven't done anything. Mm-hmm. Which has been nice, but I do think that they're starting to kind of figure out ways to open up the industry again, and I do think I'll start getting a few more scripts sent to me. But I will be going back to Dear White People as soon as all of this is over. That's kind of next up for our 4th and final season. Mm. So basically, when we can go back to filming, that's kind of what I'll go back to, and
yeah.
I don't know when that'll be. They truly like don't know a date at all. But I'm hoping it'll be like August or September. I really don't know. I'm kind of making that date up in my head, or the month up in my head.
When you get the call, you go.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's really, to be honest, I'm not really sure, having this time to just pretty much do nothing except for just like things that I want to do.
Yeah.
Um, I think it would be pretty challenging for me if I had to go back to just auditioning because before all of this happened, I was auditioning so much because it was pilot season technically,
Yeah.
and I was exhausted, and I am just not sure that I could go back to that right now. I think I'm just enjoying myself a little bit too much. Like getting to focus on things that I want to focus on. But yeah, getting to go back to Dear White People is going to be pretty incredible because for one, I love that character, but also I love that show and it's a very important show and I'm just excited they asked me back and it'll be nice to go back to work and be around all those people again and film something special.
Nice. So, yeah. And, something that's, I'm sure, going to have a lot more meaning and impact.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, I think they even said that the viewing has gone up, which I know Netflix doesn't really release that kind of information, but I read it somewhere that the viewing for Dear White People, they've seen like an increase in viewers. And I think that's amazing because even like some of my friends like have never actually watched the show, but I know a lot of people are very interested in educating themselves now. And that show has provided me with so much education and I think it's a really, really important show. And I'm just lucky enough to be on it. I'm a fan outside of being someone on the show. So it's been a really cool opportunity. I'm very sad it's our last season, but yeah, they gave us a fourth and final. It's like it'll be our senior year of college. So I think it should end on a good note.
So you haven't seen any of the scripts or anything or?
Not yet.
Okay. No, of course. Yeah. Had you, I was going to ask for spoilers.
Rumors, but I don't know anything. I guess I know that they've written the whole season, though. I do know that much. So basically, when they give us the go to start filming again, then we can just go back to it because everything's written and done. We're just kind of waiting for that, how to film something with 100+ crew members and.
Yeah. Well, are they making you? Because I have a friend who does set work in California, and she had to go through a class to get certified as far as set etiquette, and I forgot the word that was on her certificate. I want to say it was like COVID something. COVID, compliant. There we go. COVID compliant. Is that something that actors are going to have to do? I don't know.
Maybe we haven't had to yet. I think the thing with actors is that we just can't wear a mask. Obviously,
right.
Can't film with a mask on. We also can't be in hair and makeup with a mask because we have to get makeup on our face.
Right.
So I haven't heard or seen anything about that, but I'm sure there's going to be some kind of papers I'm going to have to read or contracts I'll have to read through that have to do with that. Yeah. I do think it's going to be a lot different. Like even like craft services, just it comes down to like the little tiny things you don't really think of.
Right.
But yeah. I feel like, they've kind of like, I don't really keep up to date with like news stuff too much, but they have, apparently I've heard that they've given it kind of a go to start prepping to get back into shooting. So
yeah. I
know about for Dear White People, but just in general for like SAG productions, I think they're saying like, okay, we can kind of move forward and try to figure out how this is going to go.
Yeah, and it's I forget who I was talking about this with, but it's going to be crazy once the floodgates open because now you're competing with so many productions in, a certain area, and it's the waiting list of, okay, when can we use this studio or this
Oh,
this
yeah.
sound stage? It's going to be nuts.
I wonder if people will try to move their productions out of town to cities or states that are opening a little bit faster. I'll be very curious to see if there's like a spike in the amount of people that push to like maybe Atlanta. I know Atlanta kind of opened before anyone.
Well, yeah. But yeah, you gotta wonder, is it like, would it cost more or less to move the production, over there? And who knows? I don't know.
I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue. That's for sure.
Look, I act and I
Yeah,
show
I
up.
show up. Um, yeah, I mean, I definitely think it'll get busy pretty soon. And I've certainly, like I said, I know that the things going on in the world are not great, and I acknowledge that. And I, wish that I could cure this COVID thing and all of that. But I've definitely enjoyed my time just kind of relaxing and doing things that I don't normally get the time to do. But
Right. Well, I wanted to. You mentioned that you've been reading,
yes.
and I used, like, one year I was pushing to, because I'm not a reader. I'm like meh, but I set myself a goal of like a book a month, because I think for a non-reader that's a good goal to have. I couldn't do it though, but I'm just curious, what have you read that you enjoyed and would like to share?
Well, what kind of books are you into? Like, if you sat down and actually read something, what would you read?
So one of the things I read that, like, I movie novelizations, or movies based off books, just
Like
because,
fantasy by chance?
like, how fantasy.
I know. Okay. I never thought that I would be into fantasy novels.
Yeah.
I can't even put a plural on that. A fantasy novel. I would say kind of like a Game of Thrones sort of thing.
Gotcha.
A little bit more mystical, but there's this really amazing book that I'm reading right now. And to be honest, I'm reading it very slow because of Animal Crossing and because of my new love for interior design. But it's this book called Warbreaker. And let me figure out who's that. I have it right here. Brandon Sanderson. And apparently he's very well known in the fantasy world. But it's really, really amazing and cool. And my friend recommended it to me. I've been reading that. I love it. But I don't know if you'd be into that. Other than that, what have I read? I'm trying to look through all my books, but some of them are downstairs. Have you read Where the Crawdads Sing? That's a great book.
No, I have not. That
The Nightingale is amazing. I also love fiction books set during World War II, which is really random and specific, but I love fiction books set during a certain time in history that you can kind of like, you're going on this ride with these fictional characters, and the authors are so amazing and make this world very specific that you end up learning a lot about that time as well. So
yeah.
the biggest person, which as I get older, I do like learning about history a lot more, but I was never really into learning about history in school. Like, history was my worst subject in high school, middle school. But I've realized that I really like fiction books set during those times because I actually learn about the events that were going on back in the day. So I like those kinds of things. But yeah, The Nightingale is an amazing book as well. I'm trying to think of other things. I don't know. I'm gonna start the Harry Potter books over from the beginning.
I've never read a Harry Potter book, and I've only seen the last two movies and the first Fantastic Beast movie.
What? You haven't seen the first movie?
No.
Oh, maybe you should do that. It might be a lot. Those books are pretty hefty, but
Well, my problem is that I don't mind watching them. If my buddies were like, dudes, we're getting pizza and we're gonna watch all the Harry Potter movies, I'd be like, okay, I'll be there. But
Yeah.
it's not something that I'm like actively looking to do, like by myself. I feel like there needs to be an occasion to do it.
Yeah.
That then
Honestly, it
yeah.
kind of reminds me of like, I feel like if there's ever a rainy day in California, which is very rare,
Mhm.
all I want to do is just lay in bed and watch Harry Potter movies. So it feels kind of weird to be like watching them in the middle of summer when it's nice outside and I'm just like in my bedroom watching Harry Potter. Um, but yeah, I loved the books. I read them when I was like, I think they were the first legit books that I read. I remember
Mm.
being fourth grade. I want to say maybe even third. I don't think I would have read that in third grade.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fourth or fifth grade, I read the first three. And then I don't think I read after that at all. I just was obsessed with the movies. Um, so yeah, I'm very interested in reading all of the books from start to finish.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked at a movie theater when those movies were coming out. Like I think maybe the third or I forget which ones. But the the fans turned me off on the Harry Potter series.
Oh, were they too intense or something?
They were too intense and they would get mad at me because I hadn't seen any of them. And this might surprise you. I was a young man at some point, a young rebellious man. And when they did that, my attitude was, well, I'm not going to watch it then, because if this is how you react, I don't want to watch it. And then I just, now that I'm an old fart, I'm 78, by the way. I don't know if I've said that, but now I'm just like, I mean, now who cares? That's my attitude. I'm in the who cares phases of life, and it's just like, yeah, if somebody wants to watch them, I'll watch them. But
Nice
yeah,
place to be in though in life, the who cares phase.
who cares? I don't care. Yeah, it's especially when how I talk to people. For the longest time, I felt like I was a people pleaser, and I needed people to be on my side and all that. Now,
Mm.
if I'm like, you know what, this guy's a jerk, why do I have to like him? Oh, yeah, I don't. So I just move on with my life. And it's really nice. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I mean, I would love to, honestly, one of my goals in life is to just not care
Yeah.
what people think of me or yeah, I'm getting better about it. Certainly, I think it comes with age, so
Yeah.
I think it improves year by year.
I mean, yeah, I didn't learn it till I was 32. So,
Yeah, and I just turned 28.
yeah.
Got my age for a second. That's
Yeah.
when you know you're getting old, when you forget the exact year.
So true story. I'm still 30. I just turned. Well, I didn't just turn. I turned 32 in September, and
Mhm.
for some reason, my brain was like, "Oh, you're 33." And so from October all the way until a couple weeks ago, I thought I was 33 until I don't know what I was doing, but I was feeling down on the dumps and I was just like, what have I accomplished? I'm 33. And I was like, wait, does that sound right? And so I literally checked what year and I did the math and I was like, oh, I'm 32. Well, now I got another year of being 33. I'm great now.
When I was younger and I would hear like my parents or other people who were older than me be like, I don't even know how old I am, or they
Yeah.
would take them a minute to remember their age. I always thought that like people were just being like overly dramatic and I was like, they're being so stupid. And
Right.
now I'm at that age where I fully forgot if I had just turned 27 or 28.
Yeah.
It's so weird because like I mean the older you get the less you care about like your birthdays and
Oh my gosh. No.
especially your age.
Yeah, and don't get me started on my birthday. I birthdays are nothing to me, so it's just like, all right.
My birthday was so ideal this year because it was right when all of
Right.
this happened. I'm March 31st, and so I did nothing. I ordered food from my takeout from my favorite place, and then I met my friend in a parking lot, and we sat in our cars and talked to each other for an hour, and then that was all I did, and it was amazing.
There we go. There
I
we
love.
go. So, um, let's see, you're 28?
Yeah.
So when we first started talking, you were around 22.
Really?
Yeah, 22, 23, I would say.
Oh my gosh.
I'm putting that in perspective.
We started talking when I was on the Fosters, right? Because I was
Yes.
doing a little bit of like press stuff for that. Let's see when I started the Foster. It's crazy how fast time flies.
Right?
2014.
Yeah.
So, jeez, that is crazy. So, how many years ago was that? 6 years ago. So, yeah, I must have been 22 or 23 when I talked to you. Wow, that is crazy.
We were we were young back then.
We sure were. How old were you?
Man, I was 26. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird because it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. But then when I think of being 22, it definitely feels like a different lifetime.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I actually would not love to, but I would love to go back and listen to the first episode I did with you. Just to, like,
Oh my gosh, you should, because I don't know. Part of the reason why, again, I like having you on and I asked you back on is I think we had a nice connection. There normally I like to have fun and I like to joke around with people. I can't do that with people on the podcast because I don't know them.
right.
So if I come with a funny remark that's snarky or whatever, they're just going to think, oh, he's a dick. But
Yeah.
I was messing with you and joking with you, and it was fun, and you got the joke. And that's always important to me. Like,
Yeah.
who
I
can
mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a very serious person in general, so yeah, I remember the first time we talked. I just don't. God, I can't even imagine what my voice sounded like 6 years ago or 5 years ago.
Well, I was thinking about that too, because as we get older, our voices change,
Hmm.
and I can't listen to the first episodes because I can clearly hear I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I get that as well. And also the first time I talked to you was like the start of my career as an actor, at least.
Hmm.
I was very young and new and just eager. And I think it's great to, I'm so happy I got to feel that and experience that. I think I've just gained a lot more knowledge throughout all of it. So it's hard to like go back to those times and just like it's like secondhand embarrassment of just being like, why were you so like eager and happy? I mean, it's great that I was that way, and I've always been a happy person, and I don't think that's gonna go away. But I was just young. That's all it was.
Yeah, and I'm the type of guy who does kind of think about the past a lot, and
Hmm.
I forget who I was talking to about this, but I was just like, remember what it was like to be young and just think that you could take on the world, and
Yeah,
and then you get older and it's just like, well, you can't
reality.
really. Yeah. It's like, man, I just miss that feeling of, you know what, let's do this.
I know. Yeah, I mean that is a great. I try to have some of that still, but it does get challenging. I mean, like the
Yeah.
older you get, the more bills you have to pay, the more you have to become an adult, and it just is hard to keep that sense of like youth, but I try to still have it. I mean, I still act like a kid a lot of the time, so.
There you go. And you're still eating cheese.
Still eating cheese, still drinking coffee.
There we
Although
go.
I was having pretty bad headaches
Uh-oh.
like 2 weeks ago. And I ended up Skyping my doctor because I was like, I don't know like what's going on, if I should come in and get it checked. Because it was every morning I'd wake up with a headache.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, have you cut back on caffeine? And I was like, no. And then she asked me all these other questions. And it wasn't until probably 4 or 5 days ago that I was cleaning out my pantry and realized that I accidentally bought decaf coffee.
Ooh, yep. That'll
So
do
I'm
it.
having caffeine withdrawals for like 2 weeks and could not figure out why I was waking up with headaches. It was awful.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Well, how long have you been drinking coffee?
Since it's been like 12 years probably since I was
12 years.
16.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Once you get in that coffee mind frame, it's like, no, you gotta have it now.
I know. And then I was like, well, should I just stop? Because I've already gone 2 weeks without the caffeine. And then I was like, no, I'm good. I love drinking coffee.
Yeah. No. My dad is a pot of coffee guy every day,
Oh
and
my God. Well, thank goodness, but
well, I mean, he's an older feller, and one year was like, I'm gonna switch to decaf. The grumpiest person for that chunk of time until it was just like, no, you need the caffeine. Oh, okay.
yeah, I think that if somebody tried to take coffee away from me, like decaf and regular, whatever it is, I literally go to sleep thinking about coffee. Like I go to sleep excited to wake up to drink my morning coffee. And I'm like, this can't be healthy. I have like dreams about drinking my morning coffee.
So I know I've told you this in the past, and your reaction was this. I'm curious to see if you're gonna have the same reaction. I've still never drinking a cup of coffee in my life.
You haven't?
No.
What?
Yeah. I just don't drink coffee.
Why? Like, why have you never even tried it?
Um,
Are you afraid of getting addicted, or you just don't have any interest in like the way it smells? And
the second one, I just don't have. I don't have any interest in it. And I think part of that was because seeing my dad drink it like crazy. I'm like, I'm okay. When I was working at the theater, I would have to make crazy espressos and stuff like that. But there was never that urge to like, I want to drink some. No, I'm just like, I'm okay.
yeah, wow. I'm like kind of jealous, but I also just love it too much that
Yeah.
I just feel like life would be so less special without it in it,
And that's totally fine. I totally get that. But yeah, I'm always curious, like, because I'm dating, and it's, well, not right now because of how it is. Which, side note, ladies have been getting mad at me for not wanting to go out of the house. So,
Okay, that's not the right lady for you.
exactly. So that's I just want to say if the ladies are listening, you come on, get a brain.
No, like,
But there's always that thing of, let's meet for coffee, and I don't know what to get because I don't. Can you put water in a cup and just make it look like I'm drinking coffee? Ooh, coffee. Ooh, hot.
what about tea? Do you drink tea?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm boring. I'm boring.
Shoot, I wouldn't even know what to get.
Yeah. So
Do you drink alcohol?
Do I drink what? Alcohol?
Yeah.
I mean, I got a bottle of whiskey right next to me, so yeah.
Because I would say just like take them to. Well, I guess that's kind of weird to do like a first casual date at a bar, but like,
Yeah.
but if it's only for like one drink, I mean, I'd rather go on. I have a boyfriend, but I'd rather go on a first date to a bar than a coffee shop because at least you're drinking, like you're getting a little bit loose, so then you can actually have some real conversations versus just that awkward first date thing.
Right, yeah. And I'm not I joke that I have a bottle of alcohol next to me, which I do, but it's it's not like I'm not that guy who's like, oh yeah, let me get like 5 in me, and then we'll. And it's like I'm good. One, I'm good.
One is good. One's a
Yeah.
good place to be.
Especially, I'm not a huge beer drinker. Beer to me tastes all the same. I do like ciders though.
Oh yeah, ciders are good.
So yeah, I'll have like 2 ciders. But if I'm gonna like meet somebody, if I get a whiskey, like that's that's the only thing I'm gonna get. And because I don't want to drink too much whiskey.
Yeah, no, that probably wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
I'm a beer and wine.
What kind of wine?
I like Cabernet. That's
Okay.
pretty much actually the only wine that I like. I don't like, I won't say hate, but I don't like white wine. I could do like a sparkling wine, like a not necessarily champagne. I would prefer Prosecco, but I could do that if there's like a little bit of juice in it, like a
Yeah.
mimosa.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, Cabernet for sure.
The-
That's pretty much all I like.
Nice. My friend was playing an Instagram show, and she was sponsored by a wine company, and I've never drinking wine, so I was just like, yeah, I'll try it out. And she recommended red because that's
Yep.
what she drinks, and I was just like, what do you recommend? And it surprised me because I was just like, by logic standards, I thought red was sweet, but apparently it wasn't.
Oh, it depends. I mean, there are sweet red wines, but
Oh, okay.
I drink probably the driest one, which is Cabernet.
Oh, okay.
But there definitely are. I forget the names of the sweet wines because I don't like sweet wine, but
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it was fine, and I think I still have some that I got to finish off.
hey,
But yeah, I was like, okay, this is fun.
this is cool, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I put some whiskey in there and there. No, I'm just kidding.
Put some whiskey in my wine.
There we go. But so I don't know. Can you hear? It's hailing outside.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was your like air conditioning coming on or something.
No. It's great. We're gonna have a tornado warning. You watch.
Is it hot out?
Yeah. It's all. Yeah. Well, let me. It's 73. Well, hang on. Let me
Oh,
refresh. It's 70. Okay, that's fair. All right.
well,
The
not. Yeah. Isn't
yeah.
it always? I mean, I grew up in Alabama. I should know this, but when it's hot out and it's like really gloomy or something, starts raining kind of, then you expect a tornado warning. No, that
Is
makes sense.
is that it? I mean, I've never.
I feel like in the winter it would always get really warm before there was a tornado.
Interesting. Okay.
But it was really gloomy, so you would think it'd be cold, but then you go outside and it was like warm and the wind was really intense and you're like, oh, a tornado's coming. You just made that up, but there's something about a weird feeling when a tornado came.
Well, because I think a couple weeks ago we had a tornado warning, and I'm just again I'm in that part of my attitude where I'm like, I don't care if a tornado comes, I'll be able to fly for a bit. That's cool. But I'm just like, who, whatever. But today it's been a weird day because, I was born in Texas, yes, but I grew up in Oregon, and that's where I call home.
hmm
And raining when it's sunny outside, that's normal. Like I get that.
Yeah.
It was doing that today, and I was just, oh, this is weird for Texas and
Part of Texas again?
San Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an hour away from Austin.
Is that close to Dallas or no?
No, it's in
Oh,
the
there's
opposite
an
direction.
airport in San Antonio.
Yes.
Okay, got it. What's the one? Oh, Fort Worth.
Yeah, that's
Fort
Dallas.
Worth. Yeah.
Dallas Fort
Yeah,
Worth. Yeah.
got it. Put it all together.
There we go. Now you know where all the cities of Texas are.
I do.
It's confusing.
Texas. I want to go to Austin and I want to go to Waco because I've been into interior design and just love Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Oh my! Don't get me started on those two. I don't.
them.
I don't trust them, first of all.
Really? Why? Because they're probably billionaires now?
Yes. Well, I mean, look, I'll give her props. She has good design sense. I always like
Yeah.
her homes, minus the Texas flair. Get rid of that. But but I just don't. They're hiding something.
You think?
Yes, I do.
About their relationship or just in general about life?
Something.
Okay.
I think maybe they, I don't know, have an illegal like something going on, an illegal trade, dog fights. I don't know. I don't. And again, I'm not saying they do. I just
What?
feel
Is it
like
just
they're
because
hiding something.
they're so likable?
Nobody's that likable. First of
Got
all,
it.
that and I just don't trust that.
Yeah.
I know just from stories that Chip is a pretty ruthless businessman.
Oh, interesting.
Before the show even got started or anything, he like ran out his partners out of his company just so that he can be the sole owner and be the main focus of the show, something like that.
Huh.
So I'm like, and I don't know. I feel like they have bodies buried somewhere. That's all They got a ranch. They got a
Yeah.
big ranch. That's all I'm saying. I can't confirm or deny. I just feel it. I feel it.
Oh, wow. I really love them.
Well, I'm glad you do. I just don't trust them. They're up to
Fair
something.
enough. Fair enough.
But again, good style. But I think you would have a blast in Austin. I have a blast in Austin every time I go, and I miss Austin right now.
I think I need to go there when all of this is over.
Yes, yes. And
I feel like I thrive there. Seems like my kind of town.
it's everyone's kind of town, really.
Yeah.
If you want the cool hip part, you got it. If you want the traditional, southern experience, you got it. You want good food, you got it. You want bad food, you got, it's all there. It's a huge melting pot. And so whenever I go, I like to stay on 6th Street, which is the main party street. I don't party, but just the fact that if I just want to go over there and have fun, or catch a movie, anything like that, it's all there. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
but yeah. So we're at a minute 15.
A minute.
Or a minute, sorry, an hour 15. I was
Wow,
like,
that's good.
oh my God, imagine if that was a minute. I'd be like, wow. I don't know, I'd probably publish it. But I'm just curious, is there anything that you wanted to talk about, bring up, anything really? Anything you want to talk about?
I didn't really think too much about it. I mean, we certainly during these times, and we've already talked about it, it just feels wrong not really saying anything, and speaking up about how important it is to support Black Lives Matter and just everything going on in the world there. So I guess that's pretty much the only thing on my mind that I would want to talk about during these times. And we kind of covered that. But other than that, I don't know. I hope everybody stays healthy and safe and hangs in there.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
And to see all your plant photos that you're going to post soon.
Yeah. If they grow, I pretty much only use Instagram now. I mean, I have like a Facebook and a Twitter, but I don't use them. That's been also a nice thing about this time. I was a little nervous that I'd be kind of obsessed with being on my phone and like with social media and stuff, but I really haven't been. If anything, I've been using it less.
Yes, yeah. I'm in the same boat. Sometimes I'll just put my phone in the charger and then walk away. And then next thing I know, 5 hours has gone by. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Oh, who cares? And
yeah, it's been really nice.
it's so nice. And, I've never been that guy who's like, oh, I need to post something right now. But now I'm just really like, I have nothing to say. So I'm going to go.
Yeah, I feel like for me, before all of this, I always had my phone next to me in case there was like an important call coming in or, my agents or managers calling to talk about something, and I never wanted to miss those calls. But now, knowing that there's literally nothing going on in the world that requires to talk to my agents and managers every day, that I can just kind of set my phone aside and just not even touch it.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I
only have Instagram. That's the whole point of that.
Yes, there we go.
I tend to talk too much, I think.
Nah. You as always. You're wonderful to talk to, and just thank you for continuing this dumb thing that we've been doing for.
Of course, thanks for catching up every year. I know there's not a whole lot to update you on this year, but yeah. I mean, also too, to anyone listening, give Dear White People a watch, because it really is an amazing show, for one, and just really important and educational for people. And then we'll have a new season hopefully next year sometime.
Yeah, there we go. But I'll let you go. Okay. Plant some more tulips or roses, whatever you got growing. And we'll hang out in Animal Crossing.
Okay, perfect. Yes. Shoot me an email with your friend ID. I only have 2 friends that I play with, but I've only visited their island once, so.
Okay.
It'll be cool to come to your island as well.
Again, I'm a basic bitch, so when you see it, it's just going to be a basic island with some fancy sprinkled in, and that's it.
There you go. That's all that matters.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll play. But I'll let you go. Have a good day. Enjoy sitting in your inflatable pool.
Thank you, Chris. I will definitely do that.
There we go.
All right. Good talking to you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.